Uerige Doppelsticke.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. This is a special one from Uerige. I think that's how it's pronounced. And they are a German brewer from Dusseldorf. And they brew Altbier. Now, if you don't know what Altbier is, I'll tell you in a sec. But this is their Doppelsticke, which, if you want to have the literal translation, it's double stick, and it gets its name because of the very thin neck on the bottle. Now, this is their beer that is brewed for the American market. It's the Altbier that's brewed for the American market, and it is a 8.5% beer, so it's pretty hefty in the ABV stakes. I want to quickly go through something with you. All right, I've reviewed Uerige Altbier on the channel. I bought some of this stuff. This is the Uerige, I think it's the sticker. And no, it's not. What am I talking about? This is the Uerige Doppler or something, I think it's called. But it's basically a seasonal beer, a seasonal Altbier that's brewed by Uerige. And I drank this the other night. I'd had a few, put it that way, and I was gasping for a beer. And I bought this, and why I don't know. I really like this Altbier that Uerige do. It's one of the best in Germany, in my opinion. I think Bolton's Brewery, which isn't from Dusseldorf or that region, I think they do the best Altbier in Germany that I've tasted so far. But this lot are not far behind. And I bought this because I like the taste of it, and this bottle was quite novel, and I just thought that they put it into a different bottle, but it's not. This is one of their seasonal beers, and I drank it, and I remember thinking, wow, this is quite nice. It's even better than I remember, but it's not. This is a seasonal beer that has more intense flavours than their average or their normal bog standard Altbier. I'm quite gutted about it. I'll have to buy that again because I do remember that being really nice, but at the same time, I did buy this Doppelsticker, and this is as I say, it's a beer that's brewed for the American market, an Altbier that's brewed for the American market, and it's higher in the ABV. It's one of them beers that you can leave on a shelf, and it will ferment in the bottle, and it will give you more complex flavours as it matures. Altbier, if you're not aware of the style, it is a top fermented dark German beer. And as the name suggests, Alt in German means old, so this is old beer, and it is peculiar to the North Rhine, Westphalia region, Dusseldorf, Mönchengladbach, that sort of area. And a lot of them sort of northwest German brewers, they will do an Altbier. Even Warsteiner do an Altbier. I haven't seen it over here. I know you can buy it, but certainly in Germany, but I've not seen it over here at all. But I decided to get some of this because I like Altbier. They're hit and miss, don't get me wrong. AB InBev own, I think it's Diebels, I think, is it? Or yeah, I think it's Diebels. And that's okay, it's not bad. But if you're going to go, if you like your bitters and you like your British style beers, you're going to like Altbier. It's got a hell of a lot in common with British bitters, British ales, and it's brewed very well indeed, in my opinion. It was very popular with the squaddies that were based in Munster and around that way, Hamel, and they would drink this. Certainly a lot of the northern squaddies would drink this because it reminded them of bitter that they would be drinking back home. In fact, the first time I ever heard about Altbier was from a squaddie, one of my mates, Paul. He was in the Royal Artillery and he was based over in Germany for I think 4 or 5 years. And he obviously went over there and was stationed there as part of the British Army of the Rhine. And he would drink lager, but then somebody put him onto Altbier and that was it for him. He would not drink anything else, and he came back lauding how good Altbier was. I'd never heard of the style. He said, if you ever get a chance to try it, you've got to try it. And I have a German mate who put me onto Altbier. Altbier is one of his favourite styles, and he said Uerige are one of the best brewers. Bottletons are good as well. There's another brewer called Schloesser. I think that's how it's pronounced. It means castle or lock in German. There's a double meaning there. They do a really good Altbier too. You'll only find it brewed in the northwest of Germany, in that lower Rhine, Westphalia region, and it is very popular in that region. It is being sold in other parts of Germany, but obviously it's not as popular, certainly not in Bavaria. You won't really see Altbier taking off down there. It's completely alien to the style. Everything's bottom fermented down there, and the dark beers are bottom fermented and very sweet. Altbier has got a lot of hop character and a lot of bitterness to it, and as I say, it's got a lot in common with a British bitter. So there you go. So with that in mind, let's get this open and let's see what's going on. Before we do, I just want to say it is a free 30ml bottle. They've got it down here as a Stark beer. Stark beer in German means strong. Stark is German for strong. Doppelsticke, that means double stick, as it's, you know, a literal translation. I'm sure it must mean something else. It's 8.5% ABV. The bottle is really nice. I do like that. And there is the label. Of course, Uerige do a bog standard Altbier, which is very nice. I gave that quite a high mark. And I'm gutted about this one. I really should have paid more attention. That's me in my fucking drunken state, not looking at the bottle and being a twat. But there you go. Let's get this open and let's see what's going on. Oh, that's so satisfying. Now, I'm going to break with tradition here, and I am going to drink this in the style of a... Should I drink it in the style of a Geordie brown ale? Yeah, fuck it, why not? Now, as you can see, this is very dark, and I can smell it from here. Now that looks a lot darker than the Altbier that they do, the bog standard Altbier, and at 8.5%. Yeah, do you know what? In a blindfold test, I would swear this was an old ale. There is I'm getting licorice on top of that. There's the caramel malt. There's a little bit of ethanol on there, I have to say. But there's a distinct aroma of licorice. Now, whether they put sugar in here or not, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. They do say it conforms to the Reinheitsgebot, but this is an export beer. Now, the Reinheitsgebot, I'm toying with the idea of doing a video. I'm going to be talking and that head's going to be dissipating while I'm talking, but fuck it, I'll pour a little bit in at the end. I'm going to do a video about the Reinheitsgebot, and I want to clear up some myths about it, and I want to make it clear that there has been amendments to this ancient law that mean they can put sugar in here and they can put other ingredients. And the reason I'm saying it is because I think there is, and I know they do say about the Reinheitsgebot on the website, but I'm distinctly getting a very slight licoricey type aroma. It does smell good though. I mean, this is not a slight on the beer. This is really smelling good. There's big caramel malt, there is licorice, and there's a hop bitterness that I'm getting, but there's also a bit of ethanol too. And as I said, in a blindfold test, I would swear that was an old ale. A very good old ale. It does smell good. And I can't wait to get this down my Gregory Peck. So let's give it a little bit more of a head on the top of it. Oh, there you go. It's all in there now. Now, I don't know what style of glass you would drink that out of, but I've just put it into a half pint glass. There you go. Zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. Oh, that is good. And that licorice is definitely there. Wow, that is really good. Oh, chocolate malt on the end of it. Big chocolate malt finish with some hot bitterness. Oh, this is really good. Oh, this is so complex as well. Oh, it's really good. Really impressed with this. There is big ethanol on that. Then you get your caramel malt, toffee malt as well, licorice, hot bitterness. They're the main flavours. There's some fruity notes on there too. Dark fruit, dark dried fruit, like fig, date, that type of thing, fruit cake. But this is all about the malts and the licorice, believe it or not. Now that's one thing I would not associate with a German beer. And I don't know how they've done that. But I am not complaining one iota. It's really good. Now licorice is an acquired taste when it comes to beer. A lot of people get put off by that licorice. And I don't mind it. And a lot of the best British brewers use licorice in their beer. And, you know, this whole thing about, you know, British beer, they throw everything in there and all that, all these adjuncts. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. The same people that are complaining about the adjuncts that go into British beer will be lauding how great Belgian beer is. And Belgian beer is exactly the same. Belgian beer is full of adjuncts. You've got invert sugar, like you do with British. You've got spices. You've got herbs. You've got, obviously, hops and malt. You get other flavourings. You get orange peel and stuff like that. Then you get the banana and clove from the yeast strains. So this whole thing about bashing British beer, it really does annoy me, because it's usually by people who don't know what they're talking about. And that annoys me. Not that I'm saying I'm an expert, but I can spot a bullshitter when I see one. But this, getting back to this beer, this is nice. And again, God, when I do that, it really is strong in the aroma. Like a really good old ale. Wow, this is fantastic. That is great. That is superb. Now, if a British brewer could brew something like that, and they brewed this for the American market, they should brew it for the British market. We would fucking lap this up. Like, I certainly would anyway. 8.5%. Yeah, that might be a little bit over the top. We still don't know how to handle our ABV over here. We've still got that pint mentality. We don't understand that certain beers of a higher strength you don't guzzle in pints. Everybody thinks, and I'm guilty of it as well, you know, I've got that pint mentality that you put beer into a glass and it has to be a pint. Fuck whatever ABV it is, and we will just drink it. I mean, it's pretty fucking Stone Age when you think about it, but I think if they could market this right over here, certainly among the ale drinkers, this would be an absolute fucking bombshell. It really would. And I think it would make a lot of British brewers up their game, because this is superb. It really is. Oh, it really is good. That has blown me away. That is fucking outstanding. So what's the verdict on Uerige Doppelsticke? Absolutely amazing stuff. If somebody had told me this was a German beer and not shown me the bottle, just handed it to me in a glass, I would have said that is an absolutely fantastic old ale brewed by a traditional British brewer. But it ain't. This is a German beer brewed in a particular region, not popular around other regions of Germany. But Christ almighty, the biggest puzzle about this beer is why the fuck have they brewed this for the American market? This should be for the UK, because this is what we're into. Now, you might have to lower the ABV, because I think this would take up the reins of where Stella left off, and you get a load of old blokes in socks and sandals going around smashing up. I don't know. You know, it's that sort of beer. It wouldn't be for everyone, I know that, but it's annoying me that people over in this country who really do like their ales will never get to taste this, because it's such an obscure beer. I really think Uerige have dropped a bollock there. They really should try and get this into the British market, because this is what we like. Dark winter beer, very strong on the malts, the licorice there as well. Now, a lot of British ale connoisseurs do like their licorice in the beer. Some don't get me wrong. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a great addition to a lot of styles of beers. You know, sometimes you get it in mild, you get it in brown ale, you get it in ruby ales sometimes, certainly get it in old ales, sometimes in bitters, but not very often. But it is a legitimate adjunct, and yeah, I think this is probably, I know I'm going to be really patronising and insulting to the Americans, but I think it's wasted on the Americans. They should bring this over here and market the shit out of it, because I like it. This is really good. Now, it's not cheap. I will tell you how much this cost. If I can find, I've got so much shit here. What is this? This is from Beer. It came from Beer Sniffings. Uerige Altbier Classic. That was 364. I thought I'd got that. No, I didn't. Just wait one cotton picking minute. Here we go. It might be on here. Yeah, £4.77, and that's for a 330ml. Now, I don't know about you, but you'll be paying more for a 440ml IPA, and you know, if you're into that style, I'm not knocking it, but I'd rather pay that for this, because I love it. This is a fantastic beer. I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. That has blown me away how good that is. I urge anybody who's a fan of alt beer, obviously, to get this. If you're a fan of British strong ale, ESBs, old ales, strong ales, you know, regional strong ales, strong bitters, as I said, ESBs, and you like licorice in your beer, you are going to absolutely love this. It's very flavour intense. It's strong in alcohol. Take it steady with it. But it's worth the money, in my opinion. It's expensive, but, you know, what's that old saying? Somebody had coined that as a marketing phrase. Reassuringly expensive. And that's what that is. I like it. That's good. That is a 10 out of 10. And it's definitely recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.